Hello guys, welcome to another MagicFX trade recap video. Today I'm going to be going over some shorts from November the 19th. You'll get my full process of how I view the charts in the morning and exactly what I'm looking for from the weekly time frame down to the 1 minute. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe below for more content in the future. Right, so starting with the weekly, as you can see, I mean, for a while now we've been looking at demand zones in this area because this is also a monthly, which, you know, I do look at now and again, but it changes so slowly that, you know, you only need to glance at it every so often. And that's kind of the same with the weekly, but I still do like to look at it every day just to see what's happening. And you might wonder why do we look at the weekly? Why look at the daily even? When most of the trading goes on in the 15-minute and 4-hour. Well, it's always good to know what's going on the higher time frames. A lot of the time, if you think something isn't making sense on, say, the 15-minute or the 4-hour, you can move up a time frame and it will clear things up for you, and you know, you can make price make sense. And it's always good to have an overall understanding of why price is doing what it's doing, and because that will just give you subconsciously even the confidence to place trades knowing that it makes sense that you're either targeting long or short. Because if you're just looking at the lower time frames, if you're just focusing on the 1 minute, 15-minute, whatever, yeah, you can make money doing that, but you're gonna feel a lot of the time like you're in no man's land and price could do whatever from wherever. So it's always good to have an understanding of the higher time frames. Anyway, I'm waffling. So on the weekly, yeah, we've reacted to this demand, so that shows us why on a lower time frame we'd be maybe pulling back on the 15-minute or the 4-hour, and this was the cause of it. So yeah, we could potentially be aware that this could give a huge reaction to the weekly and it could shoot off, you know, up from here. So it's good to be aware of that as well, as to why longs might make sense rather than shorts. Right, so looking at the daily, you can see we've broken out of this rather messy bit of price action, which I have cleaned up a little bit with hindsight, and we've come down, had this little pause, and then further come down, and we've actually closed above the previous candle here, cementing this low on the daily. So now we've got our fixed daily range between this point and this point. So what could we expect? We could expect price to come up into the premium area on the daily before continuing down bearish. Of course, bearing in mind that we've tapped into the weekly / monthly demand here, so you know, price could do whatever it wants. It could go bullish completely, but yeah, you know, it's just a case of bearing all different possibilities in mind. We could also not get into the premium and react to something off here, or at least give a reaction on a lower time frame to this point. So yeah, that's what we'll be looking at on the daily. Right, okay, so we've made it now onto the 4-hour time frame, and things are getting a little bit juicier here. So as you can see, we've got this high up here, current swing high, and this swing low, which was cemented after this candle here closed above this one, which was to its left. So obviously we've started to pull back here and we've tapped into a zone. Now if I put the premium and discount tool on here, you can see that we have actually tapped into the premium of the 4-hour range. Right, so what I want to ask myself is, have we tapped into a supply zone in the premium of the 4-hour range? And if you look here, the wick of this doji is in the premium, and that's exactly what we tapped into, and we've had a reaction to it. Now of course you can always find that price might just tap in here, come down, mitigate something, want to come up higher and then drop from here, but that you know, that's a possibility. That's always a possibility. But the fact that this is in the premium and it's a nice supply zone does tell me that price could very well just shoot down from there. So yeah, that is the 4 hour, and yeah, next we're going to go down to the 15 minute and see what's going on there. Okay, so here on the 15 minute, you can see that we've had all this nice bullish order flow leading up to this 4 hour supply, which also makes a very nice looking 15 minute supply. So we're all looking good there, but obviously price is currently still bullish on the 15 minute because the current swing low would be this one, the current swing high would be up here. So we're operating in this range at the moment on the 15 minute. So much like last time on the last price action video, where it was a recap of a trade, what I'm looking for is for a small sign on the 15 minute that we can turn bearish. So much like last time, what I'm looking for is a change of character, because a breaker structure would be all the way down here, and you know, by the time prices got there we might have missed the whole move. So if you look, if I zoom in to this point, you can see that this high was cemented by this candle because it closed below it, and then it was wicked above by this candle. So for a change of character, a wick above is enough for me to confirm this as a low that I want to see broken in order to change character. But I want to see this low close below. I went through this on the last video as well, but I'll just say it again just to reinforce the idea if it didn't make sense the first time. So it's wicked above this one, it's wicked below, but that's not enough for me to see this as a full change of character yet. So at this point it is a change of character for me because it's closed below this low. Alright, so price overnight then continued to move down, quite impulsive, a lot of momentum coming down here, which is always nice to see. But what I've obviously got to bear in mind is that A, we are bullish and we've got some nice demand zones to look at in this range. This is just in the discount, so fine to look for longs from, and we've got this down here as well. So yeah, got to be wary of these zones. Now, what am I looking for in order to continue bearish and to look for sells, to be confident in looking for sells? Well, I want these demand zones to fail. So that could be as much as them being tapped into, like it just about has here, and for it to give a reaction, but then ultimately for supply to take over and for price to continue going down. So as you can see, we've had a reaction here to this demand. Price has come up, and I want to see if it continues to go up here, breaking a high, or it moves further down, which may just mean it wants something in this supply or at the bottom here. But it does mean that we can continue for the moment looking at sells, depending also on how much momentum it breaks with. So if I continue to play price forward, it closes above here. Okay, fair enough. It's got a decent reaction. Then what happens though? Right, so this is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some big momentum down. This tells me that price wants to go down. It tells me that supply is in control here. So at this point, I'm thinking, right, sells are on the cards. So I can get rid of that demand zone. Obviously keep this one here to just bear it in mind. But now what we're going to do is move down to the 1 minute and see what's going on there, see if we can get involved. So here's that big 15-minute bearish candle on the 1 minute time frame. So looking at this, this is the last low we broke on the 15-minute. Let's have a look. So price has come down, and really at the moment I'd need price to come all the way up here in order to get involved in a sell. So really I'd like to see price come up and then come down again, maybe disrespect this demand zone as well in order to give me more confidence to look at sells. So let's play price forward a bit. Okay, so price did pause here but did not close above this candle, so still looking at this entire leg. And it has also tapped into this demand, so let's see if anything comes of that. Nothing as of yet. Had a little reaction here, but again, nothing really happened. Now price, now this one has closed above this candle. Okay, so let's see if we get another push down and break this low, and we do. So let's kind of go over what's happened here. So price has tapped into this demand once, given a nothing reaction really, continued down, tapped into it again, gave a bit more of a reaction, and then what's happened, it's failed one more time. So that it's failed twice already, this demand zone, so it's not looking like it's going to hold. Plus we've got all this momentum coming down, plus we've just reacted from a 4-hour supply. So I'm fairly confident that we could be seeing a massive drop here on the on all time frames. Well, at least from the 4-hour down. So this is the kind of action I want to get involved in, just to take continuations down on the 1 minute. So let's have a look. We've had this break here. Okay, so we've come up and broke down. So we're looking at this area to get involved, and we've got, what have we got? This nice wick here that looks pretty nice as an area to get involved in. Quite a big wick. Let's have a look. What kind of, we can get a decent size 1.2 pip stop to cover that, and also to cover any kind of sweep that it might want above. So I would happily place this order on. You don't have to have that smaller stop loss. You could cover this whole candle if you wanted, and have still, you know, a reasonable size stop loss. I'd like to have a small stop loss, so I'd go for that. 1.2. You know, if I miss it, I miss it. So let's continue playing price forward just to see what happens here. And do we get tagged in? Probably not quite there. We do get tagged in there. All this might take us out. No. Okay, so that was a bit iffy. Price did come above a little bit here, but because we had a bit of buffer on our stop loss, it's kept us in. And we'll see now if price breaks below here. Which it does, and at this point, you know, I'm not gonna lock in any profit. There's no point locking in one tick or whatever. So I'm just gonna continue playing price with full risk open here. As you see, we continue that lovely momentum coming down. Would I look to scale in here? Not yet, because I've still got risk open, is my answer to that. So let's see if we can lock in any profit. Of course, as well, there are still, so this demand zone has now failed, but we do have the extreme down here. Okay, now if you look at this whole candle, it has been slightly mitigated already, so I'd kind of just tend to look at some mitigated wick down here, which has now been tapped into. So being aware of that, we could also look at potential hedges long from this area if they arise. So that's what I do to cover myself in case price does go long. And here we go. This one's closed above this candle here, cementing this as the low, and then that low has been closed below. Okay, so now we can lock in a little bit of profit, which is nice. So what am I doing here? Well, now I would look to get involved, if I can, on this candle. Let's see if we can get another nice entry. 1 pip stop loss. If that's because that's quite a small looking thing, I'll go for a swing on that one. Go for 1.2. 1.2 is kind of, it's enough, I think, for me. I don't really need to go any smaller than that. So yeah, let's carry on, see if we can get tagged in any more. Now again, if we look here, this candle was closed above, so if we close below this low, I'll cancel this order. And we do, so that's cancelled. And this one, again, we can lock in some more profit. 7R running on that one now. So this next candle, I'll be looking to enter on. You can see now that this demand has failed once, twice, 3 times a lady maybe. So again, I'm just continuing looking at shorts because that is where the momentum is, and this is what we love. So let's have a look. 1.7 on this one, bit big, but hey ho. Okay, so we get tagged in. Does it keep us in? Yes. Okay, so we've got yet another low here. So we can't quite go break even on this one yet, but we can lock in a little bit more profit on this one. Probably lock this one in at minus 0.5. So yeah, got 0.5% still at risk on this one, or half an hour, I should say. Okay, now what's happened now? So we can now lock in this one above this high. Going there, and now we've also broken the extreme on the 15 minutes. So we've gone fully bearish on the 15 minutes. So now what I'm doing, I'm not even looking left really anymore. All I'm looking to do is lock in as much profit as I can by just following the 1 minute flow. So yes, I'd look at another entry here, and you'll kind of recognize this is almost exactly the same as what happened in the other price action video. So can I get a 1.2 on this there? I can fairly safely. So let's see if that gets tagged in as well. It does. And price closes below again. So there we go. It's when you can build the high time frame story to a point where you think, right, from here, if momentum kicks in, I can see this running from the higher time frame a long way. You can just get in on these high momentum moves, follow the 1 minute structure, and just take every entry, hit every entry like this, and you're just laughing. You just need to do this once a month. Just need to catch that one move, and then you can just relax, sit on your ass for the rest of it, do what you want, because you'll see you just get insane results. So yeah, let's just keep following this down. See if we can lock in some more profit. Okay. As you can see, we haven't actually cemented any lows. Now we have. So now what we want is for this low to break. Haven't gone to break even on anything yet, so let's see. Okay, our price has continued down from here. You could have been looking at this to get an entry on. I don't really like it. I prefer in these situations just to keep getting in on extremes. Plus I hadn't gone to break even on this one yet, so I wasn't looking to get in anyway. So yeah, but now you see we can lock in this one above these highs, lock in this one in the same place, and lock in this one right there. Okay, so let's neaten these up a little bit. Okay, so price is just continuing down heavily. That momentum is lovely. Would I be looking to get in again? Of course. I think these two candles here make a nice looking entry point. So then, let's again look at this. 1.9, and sadly we don't get tagged in, but again we get to lock in. So what we're looking at here, again with these entries, you don't have to take these tiny stop losses, you really don't. Just take the whole candle if you want. Take, you know, you can cover the high more if you want as well. Just give yourself some buffer if you feel safe. Especially, you got to bear in mind certain brokers will have higher spreads, so you want to make sure you're covering your spreads always. Just add a couple of ticks or whatever. Add whatever the spread is on top of what you'd put on TradingView. Anyway, continuing down, let's have a look. We can lock in profit here now. So we're already doing pretty nicely. And it all comes with experience as well, letting things like this run when you're only locked in up here. Because when price reaches an area where it wants to reverse, you will find that it starts to slow down, make smaller things, so you can tend to lock in profit in tighter places once you get to those areas where it's slowing down. So tend not to worry about this too much. It can come back and take you out, but you know, the times where it works out sort you out. So we're still waiting for price to come up and then down. Okay, so this is now a low. Now, apologies, because I think I would take a look at this for an entry, but I'm not sure. This wick here stands out a little bit. This candle overall is kind of mitigated. I'd probably just leave it, to be honest. I don't see a clean entry there. But anyway, what you could do in this situation, if you had the seconds time frame, is look for a reaction in this area, see if it broke down, and then get in on some kind of seconds change of character. But yeah, we'll just play price forward, see what happens. Well, it just wants to bore us. Let's just press play. This is what they call the London lull. Oh, there we go. So that's what we were waiting for there. Again, you know, if you were in at this point, you know, that takes a lot of guts for a price to come down here, start doing all this, and you're still holding up there, but it is what it is. So we could then lock in above this high over here, like that, and then see, do we have any other areas where we could lock in? Well, you can see prices come above here, so we'd lock in first of all down there. And then prices once again broken down here. So we'd lock price above this high. Okay, so obviously we'd have looked for an entry here, wouldn't have got it, and we could look for an entry on this one. Again, a bit of a big candle. Let's see what we've got. 3.5, no thanks. What I'd probably do is take this wick, get 2 pip, just about 2 pipper, and let's see how that plays out. And that there takes us out. So we've got a -1 on this one, but these 3 trades here, what have we got? 65.6. So let's just say we got a 65, we got a 40, and we've got a 53 on this one. So that's a lot of R. That's 105, 158, 158 R in one day. Just following the 1 minute price. Once momentum kicks in, once demand starts to fail, we've mitigated a 4-hour supply. Yeah, when price is telling you it wants to move down, when the high time frame story tells you price wants to move down and it makes sense for price to move down, just get involved in it. It's the same thing that happened on the 29th of October, happened on this day on the 19th of October. It's happened on other days this month and last month. It's just something that you've got to be aware of, and you can get involved in. And it's, you know, it's all you need. You just imagine having one of these days, even if you're risking 0.25%, that's still amazing amount of R overall. I risk 0.5% myself. So yeah, that's the trade recap. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, even though it's very similar to the last one. I think there was some mini lessons in there that would have helped some people out. So if you could subscribe to my channel, if you could like it, follow me on Instagram at MagicFX, that would be great. But if not, don't worry. I hope you found some value in this. All I want to do is just give some value back. I've learned from so many people in this community, and I just want to give something back myself. I might look to start my own community at some point. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know about it, and I will put some plans. I have some plans that I'm putting into action. If there's enough interest, I will consider sorting something out, maybe a mentorship, maybe a community, something where I can give you even more value in a one-to-one way, where I can be more hands-on, and you've got access to me, to my charts, to my trades, everything live. So yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe and all that rubbish. But yeah, and I'll see you in a few days in my next video.